Alright, this is Tommy, and I can also be found at helpwithgadgets.edc. So after my last review of this knife, I decided to see if I can't take this thing apart, clean it up a little bit, and see if I can't get the centering straight. It's not the best. So the body screws are T6, and the pivots T8. So again, let's get everything set up. I usually like to take a little bit of alcohol and put it in the lid. And that's where I'll put the bearings and the screws and all that kind of good stuff. Alright, let's take this thing apart. Give it a good cleaning. And see if we can't figure out why it is not centered. And I'm probably going to take it all apart this time. Take all the body screws out of both sides. Alright, let's go ahead and take the pocket clip off as well. Take that screw out. Probably don't need to do that, but I'm going to go ahead and take it out anyway. Alright, let's go ahead and take the pivot screw out. Sometimes if you're having trouble getting a pivot loose on a free spinning pivot, you can actually grip the knife, push the blade into the knife, and that much pressure will allow you to loosen the pivot screw. Just a little tip that I have learned, and a lot of this stuff has been learned from watching YouTube. And I love the way they have these. We'll get those in a few minutes. Alright. Okay. It's been a while since I've taken one of these apart. This is just a little pry tool that came with a dash cam. I found it comes in handy with working on knives. Alright, let's go ahead and get the bearings, drop those in. Let's go ahead and drop the pivot screw in. Let's go ahead and push that pivot. And see if we can get this loosened up and pushed through. And it's wanting to be difficult. Let's go ahead and see if we can separate that out. I don't want to flex too much, but This wanting to be difficult. There it goes. All right. Just trying to make sure I got everything separated. Okay. And then I like to take alcohol swabs and clean up all the parts. Making sure I get the lock face. Making sure I get all of the metal parts. You can see this is the Voxanso logo there with a giant mouse, made in Italy, and it's Elmax steel on this one. Wipe down the back spacer. Another little spacer there. I'm about to figure out where that one goes, as well as that one. Got your stop pin. Let's wipe that one off. All right, let's get the blade. You can get the lock face there. And I'll usually take a cotton swab down into any areas that's not easily accessible with the cotton swab. All right. Let's go ahead and wipe down the inside of the micarta. We'll actually do the outside too. The reason I do this, sometimes oil will get in here and I just like to try to clean it up a little bit. And it's probably been a while since this outside's been washed, cleaned up. So let's see if we can't make it look a little bit better. And we'll take the cotton swab again and go down into the where the pivot goes. Alright. Let's get some more alcohol swabs. Prep pad. Wipe that out. Make sure everything's nice and clean and spiffy. And then we'll go ahead and wipe down the outside of this one too. You can tell from the alcohol swabs getting a little bit of stuff off of there. All right. And I may not be the most eloquent speaker or the smoothest with the presentation here, but I do enjoy disassembling knives, and to me it's relaxing a lot of the times to do something like this. Just take them apart and clean them and make them to where they work a lot better. Once again, I'm going to go ahead and tighten this one down. But not all the way. Alright, let's see. the back spacer back on, I wanted to figure out where our, maybe that'll go here. Slide that in like that. Slide this one in here. And I probably should have done that before I put the back spacer on, but we'll go ahead and try this and see if we can't tighten it up just a hair. Again, not wanting to tighten anything up completely just yet. Sure we've got everything off here. Alright. Let's go ahead and fish our pivot out. And if possible, I like to run the cotton swab down there, see if I can't clean up any excess crud that might be in there. And then we'll set that to the side and let it dry. Switch bits in the bit holder. Grab another alcohol swab and see if we can't clean. We'll clean this body screw up. Put a touch of whoops. Oh, great. I'll have to look at that in a moment. I told you in a previous video that even if I made a blunder, I'm gonna keep on going. I'm doing this for fun, and my nephew suggested that I do it, record it, since as I mentioned, I like doing this, and maybe the things that I do will be beneficial to others. Don't know. It's possible. Alright. But if you find it helpful, I sure would appreciate a thumbs up or a like or whatever, and any comments that you may have. And again, I do this the way that I do it. It may not be the exact right way, but I'm here to learn as much as I can, and if I'm doing it wrong, y'all let me know. Alright, let's go ahead and start assembling this thing. Alright, let's go ahead and get the pivot screw. And on these, it's a free spinning pivot, so we have to work with that. All right, so on the bearings that have a open side and a closed side, and the open side I'm calling this here, where you can see the inside of the bearing, and then a closed side, I like to place the closed or the open side down into the well of whichever way it is. Sometimes that would be on the scales if you're talking about titanium scales, and then you would have a flat blade, or in this case that is countersunk down in like that, so I like to put them like that. Again, that's my preference. So we're going to go ahead and place this one open side up here, and I'm going to take, and again I'm using the Lucas gun oil lubrication, and again, doesn't take a whole lot. I just put a little bit there. I also like to put a little bit on the inside of that pivot there. I'm going to go ahead and grab the stop pin here. And one thing that I have found out that it's a whole lot more difficult to do this on camera than it is just to do it the way that I would normally do it. All right, we'll go ahead and place this one here. Again, just a little bit, not much is needed. All right, and then I'll go ahead and put a little smidgen right there on the detent ball. And let's see if we can't button this one up. All right, we'll take the pivot pin, and again I use this Loctite stick. Don't have to get a whole lot on there, just enough to stick. All right. We'll go ahead and place the wire clip, and I told you I like wire clips. I do. I don't always enjoy putting wire clips back, but this one's not so bad, I don't think. All right, got that side. Let's close that up, and let's put the other one on. Let's go ahead and get our body screws in. T6s are not my favorite for body screws, but that's what Giant Mouse decided to go with on the Grand here. And I'm not tightening these all the way because I want to check on the centering, see if I can make that a little bit better. Yeah, not sure that I did. Some tricks that I can try to do to change that though. All right, it's got a little bit of play, so let's tighten up the we don't want it too tight. In fact, that seems to have carried it a little bit off. So, okay, one of the things that we can try is I'll take and fold up one of these cotton the alcohol pads, and we'll push the knife over, blade over, and what we'll do is we'll check and make sure all of these are loose. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is actually loosen the pivot. Loosen the pivot, and then I'm going to tighten the pivot down good. More than I normally would. Okay, and then I'm going to tighten all of these body screws. And I'm actually going to get another T6. T7. Get another T6. And hold these. Make sure they're tight. And it seems like I recall having tried to get this thing centered before. So you can see it's still off there. And let's back off on the pivot just a little bit. Okay, need to add some back on that because it's got some play. Still got a minuscule amount. I will say that the centering does not affect the blade, the operation of the knife, or cutting or anything else. It's just something that it's an aesthetic that I really try to get. I don't know that I've improved that a little bit or any at all. Still not looking great. But again, the knife is functioning correctly, and now it's cleaned and ready to be used a lot more. So that's some tricks or tips and tricks that we can try sometimes to try to get the blade centered. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Also, sometimes you can push this way on this scale and that way on that scale, or vice versa, to try to get it to center. Pushing this over does about the same thing because it takes this pivot and moves it. So there's tips and tricks that you can do, but sometimes it just doesn't want to cooperate. But hopefully you've enjoyed the process here, and if you would leave any comments below, appreciate it. Hope y'all have a wonderful evening.